Sabrina was our neighbor, and Victoria had become friendly with her in the weeks since her move to her father's house. Sabrina was in her mid-20s, tall, full-figured, as people like to put it, and her hair reminded me of a poodle's fur. It was black, very curly, and cut short. Nevertheless, human men must have found her very attractive, and that was also the reason why she was sitting here in Victoria's therapy room, patting my head. She was torn between two men, and not just in the sense of an insignificant flirt. No, both of them, Leon Kastner and Adler Seeberg, wanted to marry her, as she had just explained to Victoria. "My grandfather thinks they're equally great, too," Sabrina said. "And he's a very good judge of character, with a lot of life experience. From the very beginning, he has accepted Leon into the family almost like a grandson, even though he comes from a rather humble background. Grandpa is not a bourgeois who attaches importance to money or pedigree. All he cares about is that we all find true happiness." "Your whole family, you mean?" asked Victoria. Sabrina nodded eagerly. "Exactly. He really does everything for us." "And you care very much which of your suitors your grandfather would prefer?" "Yes, I do," she said hesitantly. "I hope this doesn't come across like I don't have a mind of my own, that I'm still running to Grandpa like a toddler when I have a difficult decision to make." She laughed suddenly. "Well, maybe I am. But, as I said, Grandpa is a smart man. He cares about me, and he allows me to live a carefree life. I can pursue my interests and devote myself to research instead of having to take a boring day job. I really appreciate that. And I would like to continue to live with my new husband in our family mansion. You could hardly wish for nicer lodgings. So it is important that Grandpa and my husband get along splendidly." Sabrina's smile died. "My grandfather is getting old, you know. He's already over 80, and although he seems to be in great shape, I have no illusions that I'll have him with me forever. I want to give something back to him for all he's done for me, to be there for him should he ever need care." 4 generations of Sabrina's family lived in the mansion next to us, including various relatives and Balduin Brochhausen, her grandfather and the patriarch of the clan. They owned a huge estate, with a park where you could romp around to your heart's content. In unguarded moments, I loved to squeeze through the hedge that separated our 2 properties and stretch my legs over there. The mansion was richly decorated with turrets, high arched windows, stucco ornamentation, and with the most diverse stone figures on the facade and on the balustrades. Some of these style elements looked pretty scary, but my former human, Professor Adler, had been a dedicated historian and had always raved about them. That's why I knew about them in the first place. Otherwise, I probably would never have really noticed them. Not that I would have you think I'm a dog with a weakness for human architecture. That would be a little strange. "You can study half a millennium of architecture in this building," the professor had often raved to me. "Over the generations, the Brochhausens have added elements again and again, expanded the mansion, modernized it, but still they've preserved the old." The professor had been in the habit of talking to me as if I were a representative of his own species, and Victoria was now doing the same to Pearl and me. Of course, both two-leggeds had no idea we actually understood them, and they generally had a very hard time grasping our responses. For this reason, we seldom bothered to say anything in return. Pearl believed that it was quite enough for humans to understand the most important commands in the language of their animals. Bring me food. Clean my litter box. Throw more wood in the stove so I'll have it nice and warm on the stove bench, and so on. In this regard, Victoria did not disappoint us. She was a devoted slave to Pearl, and also met my much more modest demands without fault. But where was I? Oh, yes, Sabrina's love crisis. "You told me just 2 or 3 weeks ago that you wanted to get engaged to Leon," Victoria said. "But now you're not so sure?" Sabrina twisted the corners of her mouth. "Yes, because now I've gotten to know Adrian better, and I've fallen in love with him. I have no idea how that could have happened." She interrupted the caresses she had been bestowing on me, and a dreamy expression settled over her face. "Tell me about Adrian," Victoria said. "I've only seen him once or twice from a distance, over in the garden."